gas is very much a market-by-market proposition, would you say?
It is very regional, really.
Yeah.
Apart from LNG, that's global.
Well,
but a lot of gas is tends to be very regional in terms of its use and
it's
transport.
much cheaper to pipe gas around than to produce it into liquid form.
Yeah.
But are those local prices increasing because of that differential, because of the international price from gas versus
they have,
especially in Australia?
Up until comparatively recently, they were quite isolated, had nothing to do with international pricing.
Right.
But obviously, if you've got a producer that has got the option of exporting or using it for the domestic market, there might be certain times when it's a better profit margin by exporting. But that's not always the case, because you've got extra shipping costs and things. But definitely prices have gone up in this country. But part of that has not been just due to export markets, it's also been the cost of producing it.
Right. And we've watched Cooper Energy for a long time, and we've seen that company getting into lots of trouble with its Orbis gas plant, which has held back the share price. Do you think that those problems are over? And if so, Cooper Energy be one of your favourite?
I wouldn't say they're completely over, but they seem to have got most of the problems ironed out now.
Yeah.
So they're certainly talking about a much higher production rate closer to the capacity of the plant.
Yeah.
And they're also talking about expansion potential in one of the other basins where they've got an operational plant.
Oh, so as a Cooper shareholder, that sounds good.
So they've potentially got a lot of growth further down the track. Not immediate, but it's not just the one. The existing project in the Cooper Basin, in the Gippsland in Victoria.
And how would you compare that to, say, a WA-based company, Strike Energy? They've got gas shortages in WA too, don't they?
Well, they have. I mean, part of that's due to the fact that they're closing down coal capacity.
Right.
And then that provides increased market for gas.
And Strike's had some, news flow recently.
Yeah. So gas prices have increased enormously, doubled in WA, which is great for Strike, except they've had a problem, a geological issue, exploration issue,
right.
South Erregulla, where the results weren't as good as what they thought.
Yeah, so and then we come back to the risk involved.
So that's cast a bit of a cloud
on
the company. They've got one producing project, a smaller one. They've got two projects, South Erregulla and West Erregulla, to commission and finance and everything. So they've just got a few headwinds, if you like.
And then we move back over to the East Coast. So we're taking you across Australia at the rate of knots. This is, this is like the fastest form of travel known to man here on Under the Radar Report. We're back on the East Coast with Comet Ridge. What are your thoughts there? I think it's sort of more a Queensland, sort of play. Yeah.
Comet Ridge is quite interesting because the Queensland government has lent quite a lot of support.
Yeah.
Financial, but also and then
regulatory.
That sort of thing, and offering more ground. So obviously the Queensland government's very keen that project or projects, are in production as soon as
and they're
possible.
Sort of yet to be in production, are they? On the other hand,
they're probably about 2 years away.
Right.
Something like that.
So which would you prefer out of Comet Ridge and Cooper and Strike?
I guess you probably want to diversify, so you probably rather than have one, you probably have two, but probably Cooper and Comet Ridge seem to be probably less risk, if you like. Cooper in particular is the one that you'd probably...
Okay, well, Cooper is in production, and they've been through a lot of the hurdles that could still befall Comet.